One of the most commonly used oppositional statements to veganism goes simply, "Plants though." It's pretty clear to most people that this is a kind of a nonsense statement, really, because I don't know of anybody out there that could honestly put their hand on their heart and say they feel just as bad about pulling up a weed in the garden as they would do about slicing the throat of a pig. Most of the vegetable produce which is produced goes towards feeding animals which are destined to be eaten. So we kind of know that this is a nonsense claim of plants, so it doesn't make any sense. One other thing that vegans are quick to also point out often is that plants lacking a central nervous system and a brain cannot possibly have any feelings at all, and therefore we should not be concerned about their welfare. This is a thought which I would really like to challenge, because I think it's based on an awful lot of ignorance, especially in light of recent research which has been done over the last couple of decades, which is really starting to show that there's a side of plant life that we have really underestimated, and only recently we're starting to understand just how intricate and just how complex plant life really is. All I want to do is do a quick rundown of what has been shown to be true in light of recent research. We have now have an understanding that a plant is able to visualize the world in a way not unlike our own. In fact, it's been claimed that they have a broader visual spectrum than we ourselves do, so they're able to see, perceive infrared and ultraviolet as well as the color range that we ourselves can see. We also know that plants respond either positively or negatively to sounds which come their way. So if we play soft, gentle music to a plant, it's liable to grow faster, whereas if we play chaotic, unharmonic sounds to a plant, it will probably stunt its growth and maybe even kill it, and this has been shown to happen in certain cases. We also know that if we just sit down and talk or meditate next to a tree or a plant, we can also help the plant to grow. Very recently a man broke the Guinness Book of Records record for the most number of tomatoes on a single truss, and his secret was that he meditated or prayed next to it every day, this plant. Recent research has shown that young corn shoots, they emit very, very low frequency clicking sounds which other young corn shoots in the vicinity grow towards. Now it's been proposed, this is the first known case plants are communicating via sound. We also know plants communicate with one another by sending out volatile chemical compounds which get transmitted after a plant is under attack. So if a plant happens to have a grasshopper that lands on its leaf or some kind of caterpillar and the plant is under attack by these bugs, then it will send out a volatile chemical signal which can be recognized by other plants in the vicinity, and the other plants in the vicinity can then take or attempt to take evasive action against the possibility of onslaught. Now this kind of behavior is very well known within the animal kingdom. We know that animals which are threatened, or if an animal notices there's a predator in its presence, then it will communicate with other animals in the area, and they will understand that there's a predator nearby, and they will take evasive action through hiding or flying or running away, fleeing from the scene. Up until now, it hasn't been recognized that this is also a trait common within plants. Now, plants may not have a way to physically run away from predators, but they do have ways of preparing and of changing chemical makeup of their leaves so that it's less appealing to whoever it is or whatever it is that's attacking them. We also know that plants are able to, in a way, taste the soil, so they'll move into areas of the soil where their nutrients are. All these things, in a way, resemble our own senses, only plants don't have any of our own senses, do they? So even though a plant is very capable of seeing without any eyes, of hearing without any ears, of tasting without a tongue, of smelling without a nose, digesting their food without stomachs. Don't you think it's a little naive to jump to the conclusion that because plants don't have brains, they can't possibly think? Because plants don't have readily recognizable central nervous system, that they cannot possibly feel as we do? I believe that every life form on this planet has a reason to be, which is its own reason to be. Every plant, like every other life form, wants to live. It doesn't want that we should pull it out. I believe that there is a consciousness behind every life form.